badly am I doing, Michael?
I don't know, because I don't remember what it is to be as terrible as you are, so...
Yeah.
No idea. I'm sure you'll be fine, though.
We'll capture you alive. Submit and you won't be harmed.
Never.
Well, no, you just need to fuck these guys up. So they won't be easy.
Nope. Move to the side, goddammit.
So remember, they move fast, their attacks are powerful, they can counter, so be weary.
That's what should have been done.
Any of the same moves that will end in that. Shifts, traversal moves.
Oh, god damn it. He got me. He got me good.
Variation of traversal moves are your best bet. And switch place, always. Actually, you can get only 2 hits on these guys, I believe, from switch place after.
Oh, fucking hell.
But still, switch place is always an option. I mean, not through, I don't think.
Okay, that one's pretty weak.
That guy's almost done. So you could probably try and go in. One more time.
Oh no!
Ooh. Good place. Good job. Because he's alone now, so he's very vulnerable. Oh shit.
No.
Oh man. Sometimes shifting back is good for these. Nice!
Buddy! I did it!
King! Nice. I mean, nice.
Yeah.
It's probably the best you've done in combat.
Yeah.
There's only 2 people. Maybe numbers is what puts pressure on them. But they were tough.
Damn runt. I should have had you killed with your leech parents.
You've lost Kruger. Your control ends here.
Reflection is not about control. It's about survival.
For you and the other families, maybe. It's time you all withered and died.
By destroying Reflection, you're dooming your dear sister as well.
I'm setting her free.
Hardly. Isabel has a chronic lung condition. With Reflection, we've managed to keep it at bay. Destroy it.
You're lying.
Am I? Am I lying? You almost managed to kill her once. Why not just go finish the job?
Back!
Everyone around you dies, Faith. Did it ever occur to you that maybe you're the one to blame?
Shut up! You killed my family! You killed my friends! And you killed Noah.
Wait, he what?
The old man.
What the hell are you waiting for? Stop that thing and kill her!
Middle-aged at most.
Cat!
Go.
Cat! Stop!
Stairs.
Cat!
Stairs.
Sorry I fucked up your lungs! We cool? Ooh. Oh, bugger. Did she go this way as well? Or... Okay.
I'm not sure.
Cat! Stop it! I hate you! Stop it, Cat! My name is Isabel! Your name is Caitlin Connors!
Why are you calling me cat?
You're the daughter of Erica and Martin. And my sister. I have no sister. You left me! Cat! He said you died in the riots. With Mom and Dad. I cried for months. And then I convinced myself that you never existed. It was the only way. He killed our parents! I saw it! And he's killed hundreds more for the sake of reflection!
Isabel! Come! We're leaving!
You don't have to do what he says, Kat! You are your own person!
This has gone on long enough! Fire!
No, no, no! Don't understand. I have to.
And that's how it all went down. I wish I could say everything changed. That the employees rose up in disgust over reflection and overthrew the conglomerate. But there was no mass uprising. No riots on the streets. Kruger's sect remained in control. Life went on as before. Or almost. Because something had changed. We'd started something. Something we intend to finish.
Is there a reason that there won't be a second one? Because you were saying that to me before, being a second one. Something like that.
No, I was saying that the way it ended, there are definitely threads that you'd want to follow.
Oh, okay.
So there's the potential. I'd say one of the most compelling reasons isn't actually a story reason, it's more of a conceptual reason, which is that tattoo that she got at the end. In this story, it was a sort of bio-interface blueprint that her mother made, so it's quite significant to her, but in the original, she had a similar looking tattoo that didn't have a story, and she hasn't had throughout this game. So to me, that always felt like this is just the beginning of something, of this new phase,
right,
of a new gaming generation. Yeah, there's definitely stuff there that I think we could continue with.
Definitely, yeah. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. Wish I was better at it, but probably the biggest standout to me was just the environment. And just how nice the game looked and felt to play, and the sort of when you unlock a new zone and head into a new zone and how that feels and looks.
And I always appreciate the sort of subtle visual distinction between the different areas. I mean, there was the more prominent and obvious color scheme difference, but
yeah,
depending on the sort of the class that place belonged to, it sort of altered the kind of things that were in it. I think the richer place had more of that sort of cherry blossom look, more and more sort of art pieces and things like that. Any standout characters?
I mean, I don't think there was any character I disliked in terms of a character. I think all of them were written well. I think Dogan seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, he was hard to understand at times, but I liked what we did learn about him, at least with his relationship to Faith, and how he tries to play it off as something else as well. Now, you won't have a reference for this in terms of Faith as a main character compared to the original. But in the original, I always thought Faith was cool, largely just by playing as her, and I think it's the same in this. But for me, where this one I think is a slight improvement is, I don't know if you noticed, because we actually talked a lot over some of these moments, but there are times where she's just out doing a mission for the sake of doing the mission. However, she sometimes takes time to appreciate what she's doing on kind of a thrill-seeking level, and I thought I added a level of personality that where the previous game, Faith was a bit more of just a vehicle for gameplay.
I like the sort of distinction in clothing between the factions. I thought that was cool. I think, and I mean, this unfortunately just goes back into it again. Is visually, clearly, it's been designed on all fronts in terms of how characters look, how they're dressed, and you know, everything to just all look very, very cool. Here's something I'm going to ask you, because I know you're a huge fan of it. Do you think it has any weaknesses?
Well, besides the obvious sort of glitch here or there, which is always sort of an obvious flaw if it does exist, nothing stands out at the moment. But I may have. I mean, to talk to criticisms that at least one person in particular I know has talked about in terms of, this is another comparison of the old to the new, but in terms of how the technology is used in this game, like you have that sort of that cable device on your wrist, and how to some that may seem out of place. For me, it was never the same, and for no particular reason of like, well, I think it's balanced out by this or that. You know, I just quite liked it. I thought it was a cool concept. I suppose the balance for me would be that I don't think it gets in the way of the core Mirror's Edge feel, which is the running and traversing from platform to platform, and in the very classic Mirror's Edge way. I feel like those kind of elements where you get like a swing or a grapple pull up type thing, I think they were essential in the sense that the difference between this Mirror's Edge and the old Mirror's Edge is this is now an open world. And I think from taking Mirror's Edge, kind of changing elements of the story, making it more technologically advanced, and having it be an open world, I think this is a huge success. But it being an open world, but also always being on foot, would have been a real difficult issue. But when you can swing from one block to another at certain junctures that you have to make your way to, I think that was a really wise choice and can be really satisfying to do. Can you think of any flaws?
Not any flaws like I think that they should have done this, or they should have done that, or that was bad. I can't think of any at the moment like that. For me personally, I might have, I would have liked to, maybe, I mean, I don't know, but perhaps R1 could have been the button for your kind of gadgets, if you know what I mean. For grappling, swinging, pulling, stopping the vents, just everything. For me, there were certain times where, for instance, the whole idea of running, and you know, a jump kind of being the same as to then swing onto something, sort of threw me at times. Which, as I say, that's more down to me just not being exceptional at the game. But I can't remember what R1. Wait, what did R1 do again?
R1's a quick turn, which is actually very important.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's more.
To agree with you in terms of having a different button. If I was a newcomer to Mirror's Edge, because I feel as though that was just a difference in perspective from almost a beginner and someone who's really used to that. Because to me, the distinction between certain moves and other moves that are not only the same button but the exact same use of the button are purely contextual in a way that I'm just so used to that
Sure.
I don't see it.
No, absolutely. It's like it's like I can imagine if someone says to me, I think they should have done this for Last of Us. To me, it will almost seem strange because I'm so used to playing in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I absolutely understand that, but and as I say, I'm sure if I played and got better at the game, I'd probably just go, no, I'm happy with how it is. But at certain times, definitely in the beginning, I felt like it would have been quite nice, almost say when kind of running up to something, to have just been able to maybe jump and used a thing. Almost like I imagine sort of jumping, and then almost the whole idea of you might fall, but then pressing another button to sort of swing across.
I mean, you can jump.
I know,
and
then press it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean in terms of how that at least cerebrally could get in the way. What do you think of the control scheme overall?
Yeah. Interesting. At the beginning.
Different.
Well, yeah, exactly. At the
beginning, shooting and stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Is at the beginning, I mean, I was kind of thinking, oh, this is interesting, because almost like I know it sounds a bit strange, but say a bit of an L to R2, that's your jump and that's your slide sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of have them both on one hand was, and even though you absolutely use the other ones, the main ones were your L1 and your L2 by far. Those are the ones that you're always going to be on, and opposed to the other ones you'll use now and then, but not nearly to the same extent. And that I feel was an interesting choice, and I don't think I've played something like that before.
The combat system, I know you had a lot of trouble with it, but at least in theory, what you sort of...
Yeah, well, one thing I feel I cracked it right at the end.
Yeah,
It's just such a shame. But suddenly I could start to utilize dashing more, a lot more, and to use that to avoid stuff.
Yeah, kind of like a wobbling penguin if you don't use the shift to dodge things. Yeah, for me the combat system's new. Mirror's Edge didn't have a combat system like this. And I think for implementing one, once again, I think they've done really well, because they've done it in a way that emphasizes not fighting almost. I mean, if you play it in a particular way.
Well, that's actually something
in a way that allows you to move through things as opposed to take things on and stand about.
That's actually something I really liked about it, is the whole idea of if you're fast at the game, just leave them behind. But if you're slow at the game, then it's almost in your interests to take them out.
Yeah.
Which I really liked as it's just sort of a way that the game worked and ran.
Yeah, that actually puts an idea in my head. That's sort of a natural difference in play styles, but something like Splinter Cell actually focused on different play styles, and I wonder if this could have served for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that would work out, but that might be quite cool, an idea. No guns? Did you think that was a good or a bad choice?
Absolutely. I think guns would have felt really out of place in a game like this.
Maybe even weirdly slowed things down, even though guns are really fast.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. We're kind of having to stop, aim, shoot, that sort of thing. It would have...
Well, yeah, actually, to pontificate what I was saying before about how this game almost sees the running as its main weapon, to aim to shoot at something would be taking away from your aim to run and maneuver in a very specific way that you need to. So the way you're aiming is very important. So yeah, I think a gun would definitely take away from that, because as we've said, it's just about moving forward and getting away mostly.
At first, I feel I was maybe a little disappointed that there wasn't anything to do with stealth, but looking back on it, I think I've changed my mind about that. As I kind of don't really know. I mean, obviously you could go for an angle of maybe quick takedowns. Maybe that could be cool. Yeah.
I actually think I might have enjoyed if this had stealth in it. but I think that would be so counter to the
the
idea
nature of it.
of the game.
Very much always being on the move. Having said that, when I was just saying about quick takedowns, and we said that before, you know how they kind of had quick takedowns from when obviously you're ziplining.
Yeah, certain traversal.
I think it could have been quite cool. Maybe not always, but say if you're running up and one of them has his back to you and he hasn't seen you yet. Maybe if there's a quick takedown there, that could be quite cool.
But at the same time, one of the other game's almost tenets, if you will, is rewarding creative and really involved traversal. Oh, good job.
Well, this is something as well I'll say, but I almost don't know if it belongs in the video. Something I would be very interested in doing is almost you guiding me to a zone that a time trial zone, and then just the idea of me trying that, because something which I feel is quite interesting is you are obviously a lot better at the game than me, but I know this kind of sounds bizarre. I think if just at the beginning I'd done a time trial zone and just kind of gone through it again and again and again and then gone into the game, I feel just the whole way through I would have been a lot better. Do you know what I mean by that?
Perhaps, yeah.
And I would be interested for you to take me to a trial zone to compete against you and Aaron, and I'm not expecting that on my even 10th or 20th try I'll even come close to where you guys are at.
For the record, since we finished up the playthrough for Mirror's Edge, Jamie for a short time actually did practice and beat both me and Aaron on certain time trials. He got really good at honing his skills for particular areas of the map.
I was wondering if you had any particular thoughts on, one, the score, but also the sound design.
I wouldn't say it jumped out to me in the same way that, for instance, Last of Us score. Sorry, I mean, I feel with everything we're always comparing to Last of Us, but I think that's just something people will have to get used to. But at the same time, I don't think it was bad at all.
No, it didn't stand out to me either, or it doesn't stand out to me, I should say. But I also think it's supposed to be sort of a modern, tranquil.
Exactly. Well, actually, I think I might. I mean, I might take this back, but I'd find it stranger if there was more of an emphasis on score. It might. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is sort of a false sort of connection, but it's almost like the game. I think one of its themes is sort of freedom, in the sense, freedom of movement, but also freedom within society. And I feel like the sort of I mean, I suppose it's appropriate to use this term, the sort of unoppressed feel of the soundtrack is quite alleviating, almost. I think, I know these terms don't really make sense, it's a bit abstract, but I think the game would almost feel heavier if it really had sort of a hard soundtrack that really stood out. I'm not sure if that makes sense, and that's just how I feel. But yeah, I didn't have any problems with the score, but like you say, it doesn't stand out quite like The Last of Us, but not many things do. Let's just spend an hour talking about The Last of Us, shall we?
Yeah, let's just do that. What the hell have we been doing? Let's just go back and re-edit over everything we've just said, talking about The Last of Us.
Yeah, for everything. For
everything, yeah.
Fuck Heavy Rain, fuck Little Nightmares. Let's just, dub it all. Talk about The Last of Us.
Alright, cool.
Joanna Kruger, CEO of Kruger Holdings, today announced the successor to
we didn't watch this actually.
head of Kruger Sec and missing since the terrible events in Glass recently. Kruger will be superseded by his daughter, Isabel, who, while still mourning her...
Well, I have to go.
claims to be excited by the challenge.
Your sister's the new head of Kruger Sec. Interesting. Plastic made a breakthrough with Kuma. I'm off.
I am sure glad to be rid of that crap.
That's one I owe you forever, Faith. So, what are you gonna do next?
I'm gonna run.